In a new video for Daily Soccer Planet, we will talk about one of the most intriguing stories of Manchester United. Antony, the Brazilian who promised to shine at Old Trafford, but who almost 2 years after his arrival still fails to convince. The Brazilian season at Old Trafford has not been as good as expected. Meme fodder on social media with low goal and assist production, he could be doomed. The poor season of Manchester United continues to surprise in England. Onana, Casemiro, Antony, Højlund, and Along, etc. have been just some of the names that have drawn attention for the wrong reasons. However, there is one who takes the cake, Antony. When the Brazilian landed at Old Trafford in June 2022, no one thought he could become one of the worst signings in its recent history, and there were strong candidates for such a disappointing award. 2 years after his arrival on the islands, Antony has not been able to lift his head. United has struggled against all odds to attempt the impossible, to save a season that has seemed doomed to failure practically from the very beginning. After the significant expenditures made in the last 2 transfer windows, former coach Erik ten Hag was never able to find the right formula. To add to the uncertainty, their recent league results haven't been up to par either. With United in palliative care, players who haven't performed have become meme fodder week after week, a signing that has never lived up to expectations. United went all out for the Brazilian. There was no shortage of reasons. His last season in the Eredivisie placed the Brazilian as one of the rising European gems. He scored 12 goals and provided 10 assists before bidding farewell to Ajax. However, the problem arose when the reality of his signing was revealed. According to The Athletic, the scouts of the English club during Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure had recommended signing the Brazilian, placing his market value at around 30 million euros, 3 times less than what was eventually paid. The poor results at the start of that season, combined with the need to find a game changer, led United to pay 95 million euros for him. After a debut season in England without any highs or lows, with 8 goals and 3 assists in 44 matches, considering the cost, it was expected that in his second year he could deliver a better performance. Nothing could be further from the truth. The Brazilian has been able to enjoy 17 Premier League matches, 11 of them as a starter, but so far, he hasn't opened his scoring or assisting account. 923 minutes where expected goals rise to almost 2, the same as assists. The jokes have not stopped since the end of last year after that information became known. For every match in which Antony fails to score or assist, social media trends his name to compare his actions this season with those of other players. For example, Ivan Toney, Brentford's forward, was banned from playing for 8 months due to a betting issue. Until then, Toney was considered one of the best forwards in the Premier League. Upon his return to the field, the killer managed to score his first goal in less than 90 minutes, meaning he needed 833 minutes less than Antony to make his debut. Other Premier League debutants like Alejo Vélez from Tottenham have lowered the mark to 70 minutes, and players like Werner have debuted in 80 minutes. Antony continues to be a problem for United. The club's management would not consider him in their plans. The new Manchester United coach, Rubén Amorim, might be creating uncertainty about the future of certain players as he seeks to implement his playing style and philosophy at Old Trafford. One name that is supposedly on the list of departures is Antony, a signing from the Erik ten Hag era. Despite some recent improvements in his performance, it has come to light that the Red Devils are willing to part ways with the Brazilian winger in January, as long as the right offers come in. According to the renowned journalist Florian Plettenberg, although United acknowledges Antony's improved performances, they are still open to selling him to facilitate new arrivals and generate essential funds for the winter transfer window. Antony has found himself on the periphery under Amorim's regime, as the left wing is currently dominated by Marcus Rashford or Alejandro Garnacho, while Amad Diallo occupies the right winger position. The club shelled out a considerable sum of $86 million to secure Antony's services from Ajax, where he thrived under Ten Hag's guidance. The move was announced as one of the marquee signings during the summer transfer window of 2022, thanks to Ten Hag's insistence, leveraging their successful partnership in the Netherlands. However, the transition has proven to be a challenge for both the player and the club. Off-field concerns, combined with underwhelming performances, have hindered Antony's contributions in the Premier League, a situation that has not gone unnoticed by the fans. The Brazilian's tally of just 1 goal in 29 league appearances last season resembles more that of a struggling apprentice than that of a marquee signing for a club of United stature. It seems that both Amorim and the club's management are making a prudent decision by considering Antony's departure, as they seek a more impactful replacement to strengthen the team. Reports suggest that the Red Devils have already begun negotiations with Giovanni Quenda's agent, a player familiar to Amorim from his time in Portugal. However, Amorim seems to want to give him one more chance. Amid a season full of ups and downs for Manchester United, coach Rubén Amorim is looking for solutions both on and off the field. Among the most notable challenges is the performance of the Brazilian Antony, who has struggled to replicate the level he showed during his time at Ajax. Amorim has not hesitated to publicly back his player, highlighting his potential and the need to regain confidence. Antony needs more confidence. I will help him become a better player. If you remember Antony from Ajax, commented the Portuguese coach, he lacks a bit of confidence to take on one-on-one. He will improve. He just has to work very hard. The last quarter-final match of the League Cup against Tottenham was an example of the inconsistencies that have marked the team's season. In an exciting match that ended 4-3 in favor of Spurs, United showed flashes of good football, but also exposed themselves during moments of distraction. Amad Diallo, who had been key in other matches, stood out again, although this time as a catalyst for a comeback that wasn't enough to turn the score around. Amorim, however, was optimistic in his assessment of the match. During almost the entire game, we controlled things. We tried to find spaces. I know what we want to do as a team. Despite his words of encouragement, chaos seems to surround the club. From Marcus Rashford's voluntary absence, which has generated controversy, to the criticism of key players like Antony, United faces a complicated environment. The challenge of regaining his best form. For Antony, the expectations have been high since his arrival at Manchester United. His technical skill and speed promise to make him a key player in the attack, but his adaptation has been more difficult than expected. Amorim insists that the Brazilian has everything to succeed. Antony has talent, but football in England is demanding. I'm sure we'll see his best version soon. His numbers at Ajax and Manchester United. During his time in Dutch football with Ajax Amsterdam, he played 82 matches and scored 24 goals in 4 seasons, winning 4 titles there. Since his arrival in Manchester, he has played 87 matches with 12 goals and has won 2 trophies.